Hi everybody, and welcome to the first in this series of club podcasts. It's an opportunity for you to find out all there is to know about things that have been going on at Newcastle Town. We'll be starting over the close season and moving into season 23-24. But to start, we'll be talking to our regular goalkeeper, Joe Slinn. He's going to tell us about how things have gone in the season just past, and he's also going to give us a few tips on things like how to command your 18-yard box. Oh no! Joe, thanks very much for joining us.
Right.
This is a first of what we hope, Martyn, will be quite many podcasts over the close season and beyond.
Yeah.
So there's a few things we're going to be talking about, Joe, over the course of this conversation. Looking back on the season, various other bits, but I wanted to start with something which I think might be of personal interest to you. I'm just going to show this to the camera here. This, the benefit of our viewers, is a penalty area. Now,
You knew this.
Joe, I don't know if you know much about one of these. A lot of goalkeepers are fairly familiar with an 18-yard box, but it seems that you did have one or two difficulties along the course of the season with identifying when it's a good idea to pick the ball up and not. And it feels me to highlight it, but you know, we'll give it a crack.
Not quite big enough for my liking.
So yeah, you did have one or two issues. Do you want to talk us through those?
Yeah. It's a strange one. Something I've never struggled with before. Never hadn't picked the ball up outside my box before, and then this season it seems to be every other week.
It's not quite that bad.
Yeah. It's a strange one. I mean, did it against City and Liverpool away, and at the time I thought it was a freak incident and never going to happen again. And then, we go, when it happens again. So a couple of times after that. But hopefully that's the last of it, and it's not going to happen again. The City and Liverpool one, sort of come out and the ball's at an awkward height, sort of waist height, and too high to kick. It's
like a moment of realisation.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's like
sort of panicked, and it's your natural reaction to catch it, and then realise where I was.
If you get caught in two or three minds,
Yeah,
and then it's like
it's there, no one's landing, what to do. And the Macclesfield one, it had been raining all day, and I just thought the ball.
Oh, here we go. Blading the weather, blading the meteorology. Rain in the northwest. Are you kidding me?
I know, I expected to bounce and sort of skid through, and it didn't. It just bounced and went straight up, and that was a point where I was a bit like, oh no, what do I do here? It was either sort of leave it, let the striker go through and score, or I catch it.
Well, if it being one of our strikers, they might have missed it.
You never know. But yeah, no, in hindsight, I probably should have let the striker score and have the uphill battle with 11 men rather than with 10 men. But it's all good in hindsight, and
Absolutely.
at the time you don't have that time to think. It's a split second thing. And
yeah, I remember seeing you were so dejected after that as well.
Yeah.
It was hard to watch.
yeah, I was frustrated really more than anything, especially it was a big game and felt like we started quite well. Made a couple of saves as well myself. And then, that came and that was the game done. I suppose clean sheet, 0-0 at the time.
It was, yeah.
Oh, you're claiming that one?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, how long into the game was this?
About half an hour.
So the rest of the game, it's a distant memory. You don't even care.
We got to the second half, didn't we?
Second
Oh,
half,
yeah.
I mean, Askey played really well.
Yeah, it's a good
Made a
game.
few saves, and every time he's been called upon in net, he's done well. He did it earlier in the season at City and Liverpool, and I was watching a game last year and he went in goal against Widnes, and it was really good then as well. So yeah, he's got a talent in goal.
Careful now. You don't want to get too excited. So, all the joking aside, but you've had some great moments too. You say there's been some real positive moments. What would you say would be the highlight of the season, both from a personal perspective, I suppose, and for the team as well? So start with, I don't know, is there one moment you particularly remember, a particular save or a result that you felt, I've really contributed well to that today?
Result-wise, I think probably when we played Bootle away. I made a couple of good saves. We won. I can't remember if it was 1-0 or 2-1. But yeah, I felt like I made some good saves, contributed, and it was a good performance all around really for the team. We played well, but we dug in as well. We had a mix of both sides of it. The ugly side was there, and the nice flow of football was there as well. But yeah, from a personal perspective, I made some good saves that I felt like I helped contribute towards the win. Yeah, but then from a team point of view, I think it's got to be when we beat Stafford in the FA Cup. that was a big one going there. We're underdogs because, like you mentioned earlier, they were top of the league at the time.
Yes, they were.
League above. But we went and we beat them 2-0. To a man, everyone played really well.
It was a good, solid performance.
Yeah, I think we probably could have scored a few more at the time. Probably won by more. I think it felt at that good stage of the season where we started really well. We're on a good run. We're unbeaten for quite a long spell. And I saw a stat the other day saying that it's the best FA Cup run that we've had at Newcastle for 12 years. So, it's easy the way the season's finished, it's easy to forget that. Yeah. But, we did start the season really well, really good form. So I think that particular game beating Stafford was probably the biggest positive of the season.
Because it's an extremely competitive league, isn't it? I mean, anybody can beat anybody almost if you sort of look back through the season. I think there's tough matches all the time. There's no gimmies. I mean, Macclesfield ended up winning the league quite comfortably, and I think everyone expected that with all the investment that they've had there. But looking at some of the results we've had, we've lost to some of the teams right down at the bottom end, but we've also, like you said, we've beaten League away, and they finished second in the league. So it's a competitive division, isn't it, John?
Yeah, very competitive. I think anyone could beat anyone who spends 2 turns up on the day. I think that's always really been the case in this league. You see some results and you think it's a shock result, but it seems to happen every other week. Someone down the bottom will beat one of the teams up at the top. And, who turns up on the day and who wants it the most. I think we've seen it with us. We go and play teams where you'd expect us to win and we haven't. But then we've got the games like League game, the Clitheroe game, where probably the Handler game at the start of the season as well. We're playing against teams that are in good form, playing well, and we're the underdogs, and we've got them played really well and won the games.
I remember Workington here as well. That we played really well in that game.
Yeah, I think we were unlucky in that game. We lost 1-0, but I'll argue that we could have won it.
Oh, easily, yeah.
But like I say, we've been saying it all season. Only one stat that matters, and that's who scores the most goals.
Sure.
So you've mentioned about the Stafford game as being arguably one of the moments of the season. Is the League One the game that probably, although it didn't mathematically make sure that we survived in the division, but it kind of changed the direction of where we were going? We had 3 pretty heavy defeats, hadn't we? Paul came in as the new first team manager, and there was an immediate reaction with that match, and not many people were really expecting us to get anything out of that game, that league.
No, like I said, it's a big result, big performance from us. But I think we were quietly confident going into the game, as daft as it sounds after the results that we'd had previously. With being a local derby, we're always up for it, and we want to win, have the bragging rights. But also, we knew how much it meant to us. We needed to win. I think we'd just been dropped into that playoff spot, so we knew we needed to win to get ourselves out of there. But also, when we played League at home on Boxing Day, we felt like we played well and were disappointed to lose a game. So we had the confidence knowing that we'd put a good performance in against them before, and there was no reason why we couldn't do it again. Yeah, and I think also, it was one of them games where we'd played well and we'd not really done anything different going into it. We had the previous games, we'd come out winning rather than losing. I think perhaps have that rug of green on your side for the game, because it probably wasn't pretty for you guys to watch from the sideline. Feels like we were defending for 90 minutes. Where that one chance.
You've got to do that sometimes, though.
Well, yeah, exactly.
And what we noticed was, as you say to a man, everyone was throwing the bodies in front of the ball. Everyone was just defending for their lives, and it was good to see. With that passion, it was really good to see.
Everyone wanted it, everyone worked hard, like you say, putting the bodies on the line. It felt like every time we had the ball, it was a clearance rather than trying to find the pass, just getting it as far away from possible as our goal.
Yeah, I guess sometimes you've got to do that.
Yeah, it was not pretty, but I'd much rather win 1-0 in an ugly performance like that than play good football and lose a game.
Yeah, and some good saves from yourself in that game. I remember we called the free kick in the first half. It's pretty decent.
Yeah, like I said, I'm quite pleased with my personal performance. But I think all 11 of us on the pitch would have been, especially the subs that came on as well. We played really well. I think a bit of a smash and grab. We had that one chance and scored. I don't think we really had another chance, but
that's what it takes.
Yeah.
I'm interested, Joe, to get a player's insight on this, but when you've had a bad run of results and you do fall behind, how hard is it then to kind of keep that sort of spirits up? Because in that particular game, we never behind. Obviously, we win the game 1-0, but you're saying that there wasn't really that much that changed. The commitment's always been there, but maybe the lady luck was on our side a little bit. But when we have fallen behind in games prior to that, was it quite hard? It's like, oh God, we're back here again, or I don't know. How did it feel within the team?
Yeah, it's a strange one because I've been inside before where we've lost games heavily and the morale's really low, but we've got a really good group that we've had this season. Lads are all good, so the morale didn't drop that low. Like I say, that's probably what helped us out going into the league game, that we still had that togetherness and we're all confident. But yeah, I think there were strange games. I think especially the Mossley game, if you look at that one, we lost 5-1, but all 5 goals you could arguably say came from our mistakes. They've not really played through.
Not all of them yours either.
No, they didn't really play through us and create any well-worked goals. They just took the chances when they had them, where we've probably opened up and given them the opportunities. Apart from that, we played well in parts. We went 1-1 in the second half, and it felt on the pitch as if we were more likely to win the game. Obviously, it didn't turn out that way.
But I didn't go to the game. I mean, the Clitheroe match when we lost 7-1, I think, oh my word, that's an absolute humbling, which is a terrible scoreline, obviously. But when people were telling me that when we got it back to 2-1, it was like they were slightly worried, that we were dominating, and then it fell apart towards the end of the game. So even in the matches, some of the matches where we have had bad results, still shows some signs that things could have gone a different way.
Yeah, we have. I mean, it's always
never
difficult to take the
positively on a 7-1 defeat.
It's always difficult to take the positives.
It sounds like clutching straws here a little bit.
But yeah, I think that's the togetherness we've got in the squad. That people don't drop their heads. People pick the mate up next to them and keep going. But yeah, we've had some heavy defeats this season, and it's difficult to take. But I also think we've performed well in games as well. Like I say, obviously Clitheroe we lost heavily away, but then when we played them at home, we played them at home,
which is one of the best results of the season, one of the best performances.
Yeah, like I say, it was
a very comfortable one.
It was exactly the same as that league game where we just turned up and everyone to a man was excellent to put a shift in, put his bodies on the line, and we probably, the difference between the league and the Clitheroe games, we probably could have scored more against Clitheroe. We played better football than we did, but that's been our issue this season. If we could put a finger on what had made us play well in them particular games, we would have done it every game and won the league, but unfortunately football's not quite that simple.
No, there's always 11 players trying to do something to you at the same time, isn't it? So, Robin's time as the manager of the club came to an end in April, and then Paul comes in. Robin been here managing the team for a long time, 5-6 years. To have a different voice, that must have been quite. Well, it's obviously a change is always going to be difficult. But how was it? How was it for the team having someone coming in? After being used to someone else for so long.
It was just different, I suppose, really. And also it was a quick turnaround because we played here against Mossley on the Saturday and had a league game on the Monday, so we didn't have time to be get in training. So I suppose for us as players, it was that unknown, really, not knowing what to expect. We met Paul the week before. He'd come to training and said hello, introduced himself, but we didn't know how he wanted to play football, how he wanted to set up his side. So that was all.
Were you nervous a bit, or was it kind of?
No, I don't suppose we're nervous. It's part of football. You have to comings and goings from players and management. But yeah, it was a different way of playing. Obviously, Rob wanted us to get the ball down, play football. As Paul wanted us to, be a lot more direct, sort of get the ball in the final third. But I think at the stage of the season we're in was what we needed to do. We needed to go back to basics. If we lose the ball in the final third, then the opposition's got a long way to go till they can score. I think that was probably the key change. The formation stayed the same. We just changed the way we played and went a lot more direct, and that got us the results. But I think like we were saying before about the league game, I think the change in management also perhaps had a bit of an effect on that, because as players we felt like we'd let the previous management staff down. Robin, Grovesy, Jake and Alan that had all worked really hard for the club over the past few years, put a lot of effort in, and we felt as players that we'd let them down on the pitch in terms of not getting the results. So I think we felt like we owed them a performance as well to get the get the results and keep us safe. There's probably a mix of both sides of it. So wanting to help the previous management staff out that have brought the majority of the players to the club, but also showing the new management staff what we're about, and that what had happened the previous couple of weeks wasn't what we liked.
That's not the team.
That's not
us. Yeah. Well, it was a grand performance, and it was a essential one, because I mean that pretty much, although it wasn't mathematical after that was the game that ensured that we'd still be in this division, which I know at the beginning of the season was not the target. But as things got on, it did start to get a little bit squeaky bum times, a certain Scottish manager would have said at one time.
Yeah, and I think he said he probably.
Although he was used to playing at the other end of the table, but
yeah, I'd much rather be there. Yeah, no, I think again that probably spell that we had at the start of the season, where we went unbeaten for so long and we've had some really good results and played some good football, has helped us come the end of the season, has helped us out, and that's probably the key reason why we've managed to avoid safety. We put us
no, you didn't avoid safety. You did get safety.
Avoid the relegation.
Coming out your box.
You were thinking you had to take us out of the division when really we wanted to stay in it.
Yeah,
you really are a pillar, can't you?
Yeah, no, I think as much as these past couple of results have been really important and the key ones to get us to safety. Yeah. The foundations were there at the start of the season. At the time we were disappointed that we couldn't carry on and have a better run and be looking at the playoffs, but if you look now, we've got to be grateful for it, that it's the games that put us in that good position and kept us just above the drop.
Looking ahead, where do you see the sort of club heading? Because on the pitch is one thing, but there's been a lot of things taking place off it. Well, obviously the new 3G pitch is going to be ready, and I think if you're a player now, you're thinking, God, and half a good facility to be able to have right on your doorstep. That's a big selling point, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I seen the 3G the other week, and at the moment just like an extension for the car park, just the tarmac down. But yeah, hopefully come pre-season it'll be all sorted, all finished, and that's probably what we've been missing this season, because we've been struggling to train this year. The availability of the facilities. But if we've got our own place, hopefully then we can get on there, train, and hopefully you guys can see a bit of a difference on a Saturday. We've got a chance to work on the team shape, the structure. Yeah. As this season we've not had somewhere to train, and the weather not being too pleasant, so we've not been able to get onto the pitch. Not wanting to ruin it for the Saturday, so we've had to do gym sessions or doing runs in the gym. Sure. Which on a Saturday, it helps you fitness wise, but you want to work
those little bits, all those little extra.
You want to work on your shape, your set pieces, things like that we've not had the chance to do so much this year, so I think it'll be a big asset for us. But also the junior sides, we've got loads of junior sides. They play the games at Row Lane, so we have to have everyone in one place, so training at the same training grounds. That's important. Especially junior side can have something to look up to. You can see the first team, they can watch them train on the pitch next to them. I think it'll be good for the whole community.
That'd be a big deal, I think, for those younger players who are coming through to sort of feel like they're a really big part of the club, and that they're training next to the first team, and that'd be brilliant.
Well, it's good to see. We get a lot of lads that come down to the games, they walk out with us or just come down to watch the games. They all seem to be part of in one club, that philosophy. So it's important to see, and hopefully, like we say, the foundations that we're building will help that improve.
Not too much longer now on that one.
Not long. Space.
Like I say, everything behind the scenes is really professional for a non-league club that we've got here. The intentions are all being right, and you can see it building. And it doesn't. Perhaps you say, having this off the pitch doesn't help you on the pitch, but I think it does. It's a nice place for players to come and play. Who want to be here, they feel appreciated, and everything's done properly. Sure. Which is a big deal in non-league.
Certainly is.
Absolutely.
Wish my beloved Tottenham could get it right. We got everything off the pitch is fine.
Nice
and
stadium.
then lovely stadium. There's no furniture in the new house though, is there? So let's look ahead at what you're doing over the summer, I suppose, Drew. I mean, it's a strange time, I imagine, for a footballer. I mean, how do you... The new season seems a long way away, but it does come around quite quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, it's a nice on a break, really. Yeah, we play football all year. And the season comes to an end, and you can go do all the things that you've wanted to do all year round.
Well, you've already started, mate.
Yeah. Go on your holidays. Watching a bit of cricket for me.
Yep.
That's what I was doing. A few of my family members, my brother, my dad and my cousin all play cricket, so I was going down watching them.
You can have a peaceful, relaxing Saturday afternoon for a change.
Yeah, the roles reversed rather than them having a pint watching me. I can have a pint watching them.
Nice.
Have a laugh at them.
Absolutely.
I'm sure we don't laugh at you when you're playing, Joe.
Well, we've touched on the 18-yard
we
box.
have mentioned that. Yeah, I think
mentioned that, yeah.
No, well, I wasn't, but I mean, you know, your man's just jumped in.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to try and get into golf, I think, over the summer. So I've been toying with the idea for the past few years.
Hang on, how old are you?
Yeah, well, getting on. Not as young as I used to be.
Our old Martyn's here, 62. I mean, I know he looks a bit young.
That's right, eh?
Looking good.
Thanks.
No worries. Good help.
Yeah, I'll try and get into golf. Toyed with the idea for a few years, really. Mates have been playing and always a bit envious when they go for a round and have a few pints afterwards on a nice summer's day.
Yeah.
So I was watching the Masters the other week and thought I'd get myself some clubs and waiting for the weather to take a nice turn now. And
So we might see you at Augusta in the future then, maybe?
Well, maybe more in the rough.
Yeah, he'll be buried in a bunker somewhere.
Yeah, no, it's nice to have a break. We joke about it being a favourite part of the season now, this bit.
Oh, yeah.
Bit of time off, but now, have a break and then get ourselves fit, ready to go again in pre-season.
Cool. Well, this is like, I wouldn't say this was the formal part of the interview, either, but we've covered a lot of stuff. But Martyn has got a little treat lined up for you here. I don't know how this is going to go, although we've got a bit of an idea.
Yeah.
So, Martyn, over to you for this bit.
It's your opportunity to dish the dirt on your teammates. Not dirt, really. So, who would you say is the most skillful player in the team, Joe?
So, there's not many, but I think I had to pick probably Nat Morley.
Nat Morley?
He's always trying a few little skills in training.
Okay, well, the flicks and
Do they
tricks.
come off?
Yeah.
Or
Uh,
less than he'd like them to?
we don't see him much in games, but in training he looks the part. Pulling off the skills, but
Fair play.
yeah,
Okay, so who's the hardest trainer? Who works the hardest, would you say?
definitely myself.
Yourself. Good answer.
That's very modest, Joe.
Yeah.
I like that.
No, I think everyone works hard. We've got a good group like we touched on.
You're not getting
If
away
I
with
had
that.
to pick someone, I'd probably say Ollie Ritchie.
Right, okay.
He always comes in, works hard, keeps his head down, and gets on with it.
Fair. Who would you say is the tough guy of the group? So let's say you're Patrick Vieira or you're Roy Keane of the squad.
Probably have to say Askey.
James Askey.
Yeah. I won't be too pleased if I didn't say that.
Do you think he'd agree with you?
He probably
he'd like to think so
anything
himself.
that's positive here is thinking, say James Askey.
Yeah.
Say James Askey.
Fair. Okay. Who's the quickest?
Quickest.
Who's running a 100-metre sprint?
I think it's probably Conor Russo.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a little lad, isn't he? The little lads are always the quickest.
Yeah, we've seen darting up and down the wings. Who's the best singer?
Best thing.
Who's got the pipes?
It's a tough one, that. We've not got any good singers, I wouldn't like to say.
I've heard you celebrating after the game.
Yeah.
Who leads it up? Who cranks it up in there after a win?
Yeah, probably Jake Lovett. He's the loudest. Best singer, I'm not sure, that's a different question, but
Okay.
yeah, Jake Lovett's definitely
He's
the
happy
loudest
to give it
singer.
full beans, does he?
Yeah, he gets it
okay,
started
we'll
after
We'll
that.
get him in next.
We'll give him that, yeah.
Okay, who's the most intelligent?
Probably Ollie Ritchie, I think.
Oh, again, okay.
Yeah, he's an accountant, so accountants are always clever, aren't
Yeah, I
they?
suppose he's got to be good with numbers. Fair play. Shall we go least intelligent, shall we? Yeah. Who's the least intelligent?
That's a tougher question.
Is there so many to choose from? Or?
Yeah, plenty.
He is hovering here. I don't think you should have done that to him.
Should I not?
No, I
Shall
think
we
that was
move on?
me. I think that's out of order.
I'll answer it.
Answer it.
Yeah, it's tough. We've got a few lads who aren't the brightest.
You said you're going to answer now, so
yeah.
we're going to hold you to an answer.
Spoiled for choice, that's the
We
problem.
haven't got all bloody day, come on.
Spoiled for choice. Maybe Darbs. I don't know what he does for a living, but he doesn't strike me as the most intelligent. He's a good
Get him in
lad.
as well.
We'll feed that back to him.
Yeah,
Who can throw the shapes? Who's got the best
throw the
answers?
shapes. Probably Marky Conlon.
Okay, yeah.
don't want to say it because his head will just get bigger, but yeah, he's probably the mover on the night out.
Fair play. Who's the fashion fail? Who's got no dress sense?
Tommy van der Laan.
Tommy?
Oh, that was
definitely.
quick.
Yeah.
That was you didn't have to think about that.
Some of his outfits are outrageous.
Really?
Yeah, he just throws all sorts together.
Yeah, what, just pretty out there, or things that don't go?
Not so much out there, just things that don't really go.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it must be in that household because his brother's the same, Jack van der Laan. I remember on the Christmas do, he turned up in some sort of farmer's jacket. Checkered jacket. He was a Welsh short.
Was it out of farm?
No.
It wasn't.
No.
I mean, because that's okay, really.
Oh, yeah.
Farm, yeah.
Yeah, if it was farm, he'd look the part, but I'm not sure that's quite the look he was going for. But yeah, no, luckily for him, his brother probably just tipped him to that one.
Okay, so Tommy and Jack.
Tommy, definitely.
Tommy, okay. And then last one is who's Mr. Grumpy?
Mr. Grumpy, Ethan Vale. He loves a good moan.
Yeah, we've heard him on the sidelines. He can be quite vocal, can't he?
Yeah,
it's little fellas, I think.
It is. Yeah. Conor Russell's the same. But yeah, perhaps not quite to the extent that Ethan is. Yeah, Ethan loves a good moan, and if you've done something wrong, he'll tell you straight away. Yeah, one of my favourite moments this season is, I think it was the FA Trophy year. I can't remember who we played, but we lost. And Ethan was telling the ref that he had such a good game. And the ref turned around and told him that he wasn't having such a good game either. Pointed out a few of his passes that he got astray.
With a bit of industrial language thrown in as well.
Nice to see. Normally the refs just don't talk to you, so you'd rather that than just ignore you.
I like that. I like that. Yeah.
That's good.
Bit of fight back.
Yeah. It'd be nice if they all did that rather than just pull the cards out.
Yeah. That's all I got, man. Thank you very much. That's good.
Well, and that's all we've got time for in the first podcast of the season. So, Joe, cheers, my man.
Thank you very much.
It's been a great pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Go and enjoy some golf and some cricket and whatever else you want to get up to.
Yeah, I'll let you know how it goes come the pre-season.
Top man.
Lovely.
Yes, thank you very much.